नमस्कार। आर के त्यागी गाजियाबाद दिल्ली एनसीआर। ओम सच्ची जनवाणी में चैनल पर आपका स्वागत है, हार्दिक स्वागत है। वार्मली वेलकम, cordially welcome. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and share the video as much as possible to propagate our views, news and issues of retirees to all sections of retirees, all sections of societies, all sections of political parties and to the government, which can take some action on our views, issues and news, and to motivate our retiree friends and to mobilize the retiree friends to take part in further actions by our retiree organizations and call of बैंक पेंशन एक्टिविस्ट। साथियों, मैं आपको एक आईबा पार्क ने एक सर्कुलर जारी किया है। ये 27 तारीख का है, 27 दिसंबर 2023 का, और उन्होंने सर्कुलेट किया है सभी लोगों के लिए भी। और उसके अलावा ये इन्होंने लिखा है, साइन है इस पर सुप्रीत सरकार, जनरल सेक्रेटरी, और के वी आचार्य, प्रेसिडेंट एंड जॉइंट कन्वीनर आईबा पार्क के हैं ना। तो और ये सुप्रीत सरकार जी के साइन है। इसको मैं थोड़ा बीच में कुछ अंश या पूरा जो भी संभव होगा मैं सुनाता हूँ अभी आपको। ये है इनको, ये लिखा है इन्होंने, आईबा पार्क UFBU पेंशन अपडेशन ईमेल 2023 डेट दिसंबर 27, 2023। SK बंदलिस, श्री SK बंदलिस जो है कन्वीनर UFBU चंडीगढ़। डियर कॉमरेड, सब्जेक्ट satisfying the IBA myth and cost of pension updation and family pension और cost of updation के ऊपर इन्होंने लिखा। We refer to our letter 19 December 2023 to you about the issue of pension updation. We say the proposed ex-gratia wide MOU dated 7th December 23 signed between UFBU and IBA. In this connection, we wish to put certain facts in proper perspective to help UFBU resolve the long pending demand of updation of pension on the line of updation formally notified in the case of RBI pensioners. Number 1, although in the MOU of 7th December 23 wide paragraph number 5 there has not been any express mention of the cost factor of the updation of pension. For last few days we have come across several campaigns, sometimes in the form of circular issued by the affiliates of the constituents of UFBU, and other times the quotations of the telephonic conversations of the important leaders of UFBU. Constituents being made public, telling that updation of pension is not possible due to exorbitant cost. Some of such leaders are also, however, telling that updation will be done after seeing the impact of ex-gratia payment offered by IBA while signing the MOU on 7th December 2023. एक तो इन्होंने सेकेंड पॉइंट, in one such spirited campaign by one of the constituents of UFBU, it has been claimed that by providing bank-wise data that improvement of family pension in the 11th BPS was achieved by UFBU at the cost of 18,563.19 पैसा करोड़, 19.919 करोड़, सॉरी दोबारा बोलता हूँ मैं, rupees 18,563.19 crore, and it has been cited as a proof of the UFB really cared for the retirees. Frankly speaking, we do not have any quarrel with the subjective feeling cherished by any organization, but we do object to the cost claimed by IBA and UFB acceptance and propagation. Acceptance and propagation of the same without any protest against it, backed by fact check on record. Such blatant untruths are being circulated with the definite purpose behind it. We are generally accustomed to see that the cost is often talked about by management, IBA in the present case, to negate the rightful claims, and trade unions sharing the other side of the table help harp on what favors the labor and what benefits the labor being entitled under the already existing statute, being true to the tradition. We cite before you the logic that will totally demolish the edifice of the IBA's argument in regard to cost of improvement of family pension, and we believe that you will find substance in it. We feel it a necessary to reopen the chapter because the inflated costs shown for improvement of family pension will be relied upon by IBA in negating the larger demand of pension updation on similar ground of inflated cost. We have in the past repeatedly written to IBA that their perception is wrong and it requires an immediate correction. As a veteran trade union leader, you are definitely aware of the fact that the cost is an enzima which can always be used in a clever manner to deny the rightful claims. Hence, the need arises on your part to insist upon IBA for a path correction in the following grounds. Number 1. Banks make adequate provisions to ensure payment of pension at 50% of the average basic pay drawn during the last 10 months of service. Such provision is generally made to pay full pension to pensioner up to age of 82 years. Records will speak that 95% of the pensioners die before the attaining 82 years of age. Family pension, if calculated at 15% of the basic pay, it would result in reduction in pension by 35% of last drawn pay. 15% instead of 50%. This way, every single deceased pensioner leaves a surplus of 35% of the last drawn pay in pension fund. Number 2. Under such circumstances, improvement of family pension from 15% to 30 leaves still a surplus 20% of the last drawn pay in the pension fund. Such a surplus left by 95% of the deceased pensioner died before 82 years would be many times more than the cost of improvement of those 5% family pensioners who survive beyond 82 years of age. The instance of predeceased spouses also not surviving up to 82 years of their age, which are quite substantial number, would further increase the surplus. Number 3. When the issue of the so-called amortization of cost came, we escalated before IBA time and again asking them to explain the need for additional provisioning towards the cost of the improvement of family pension. It virtually resulted in negative provisioning to the pension and pension fund as explained here in before. We still believe that such a grave perceptual error on the part of IBA was directed to the hoodwink the government and UFBU. 2. Since there was no documented fact check or protest from UFBU side, this deliberate perpetual error committed by IBA was in fact a precursor to the denial of the updation of pension in the name of astronomical cost. The arithmetic should be set right by asking the following questions. A. When the cost of salary revision of 8,500 previous BPS settlement 1st November 2017 employees and officers at the 15% of pay slip component came to rupees 7,988 करोड़ 7,988 करोड़ बैठती है 8.5 लाख एम्प्लॉइज़ की सैलरी 15% जबकि उन्होंने बढ़ा के दिया है. हाउ देन for about 70,000 family pensioners an increase of 15% last drawn basic pay towards improvement of unupdated family pension would necessitate an additional funding of 8,563 crores, especially when the annual yield on pension fund had enough room to absorb the amount of annual cost of improvement in family pension. Number B. The total annual pension bill for more than 4 lakhs of pension and family pensioners during 11th BPS was around 14,000 crore. And the funding requirement for the improvement of the family pension for about 70,000 family pensioners is being claimed rupees 18,563 crores. Is it not fallacious more so when the annual yield on pension fund is more than the pension payout with enough cushion to meet out the annual cost of improvement? Further, the pension funds of PSBs are managed by the making specified investment and not used to buy annuities like other entities. Number C. It is reiterated that annual pension updation cost comes to rupees 3,288 crores. The detailed bank-wise and cadre-wise calculation sheet for pension updation as on March 19 have already been shared by us with you, IBA and DFS. Those calculations evidence that the annual pension including annual updation cost can, इसे दोबारा पढ़ देता हूँ मैं क्योंकि इम्पोर्टेंट है. इट इज रिटरेटेड दैट annual pension updation cost comes rupees 3,288 crores. The detailed bank wise and cadre wise calculation sheets for pension updation as on March 2019 have already been shared by us with you, IBA and DFS. Those calculations evidence that the annual pension including annual updation cost can be almost met out of annual yield of the pension fund. There is therefore no need of additional provision or funding as projected by IBA at this juncture. Comrade, the need of the hour we feel for ourselves is that the so-called cost calculation of IBA for pension updation is supposed to be shared with you and all the apex level retirees organizations to check up whether the assumptions are being correctly taken into consideration or not. The above exercise in respect of improvement of family pension will surely convince you that IBA has been taking with different motives and every decision in this regard to pensioners is to be taken with grain of salt and not as it is. We request you and to all the constituents of UFU through you that the so-called cost projected by IBA for updation of pension needs to be questioned thoroughly and logically. The IBA has been dodging and dragging the issue of updation for too long now by orchestrating their usual so-called studying the cost of calculation theory without even attempting to assess the enormity of the pension fund outgo by way of pension payment vis-a-vis the annual yield and net accretion to pension fund. It will be absurd if IBA projects that if updation is done as per RBI formula in course of time no amount would be left to make monthly payment of pension. It would be pertinent to have a reference to the pension updation cost of RBI pensioners having been arrived by the government at rupees 700 crores approximately while granting updation in the year 2019. We also wish to make it abundantly clear that bank pension scheme is not funded scheme. Just as for government pensioners, pension and updation is given out of budgetary provisions even when the budget is invariably a deficit budget. The same way banks are statutorily bound to make good the shortfall, if any, every year by charging such provisions to profit and loss account of the banks, as is the case in respect of the wages to serving employees and officers. In case of banks, they have been making huge profits except some intermittent loss on very few occasions by some banks, either due to new accounting norms in 1990s or recently due to huge write-offs. The operating profit of all the banks have always been moving northwards. In view of the foregoing facts, we should request UABU leaders to expedite resolution of our long pending demand of updation of pension on the lines of RBI updation formula in respect of every wage revision, including the one with effect from 1st November 2022 for all eligible pensioners, family pensioners. With best wishes, comradely yours, KV Acharya, President Taiba Park and Joint Convener CBPRO, सुप्रीत सरकार जनरल सेक्रेटरी। तो ये था वो लेटर जिसमें पेंशन अपडेशन की कॉस्ट को इन्होंने बताया, और इसमें तो इन्होंने 3,288 बताया 19 के हिसाब से। हम तो 8,250 करोड़ समझ रहे थे, और कुछ लोग 6,600 बता रहे थे, कुछ शुक्ला जी ने 4,400 करोड़ बताया था, लेकिन ये तो 3,288 करोड़ ही बता रहे हैं। इसमें ये लिखा है ना, इसमें ये कह रहे हैं ना, इसमें सी में, इट इज रिटरेटेड दैट एनुअल पेंशन अपडेशन कॉस्ट कम्स टू 3,288 करोड़। द डिटेल्ड बैंक वाइज एंड cadre wise calculation sheet for pension updation as on March 2019 have already been shared by us with you, IBA and DFS. Those calculation evidence that the annual pension including annual updation cost can be almost met out of annual yield of the pension fund. There is therefore no need of additional provision or funding as projected by IBA and at this juncture. तो ये इन्होंने लिखा है। धन्यवाद साथियों, सभी साथियों को नमन, सल्यूट और क्रांतिकारी अभिवादन सभी रिटायरी साथियों को, सभी रिटायरी लीडर्स और रिटायरी साथियों को, बैंक पेंशन एक्टिविस्टों को। सभी स्वस्थ रहें, प्रसन्न रहें, संपन्न रहें और मंगलमय रहें सपरिवार। जय भारत, भारत माता की जय, वंदे मातरम, जय सनातन समाज संस्कृति। ओम ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश नमः, ओम नमः शिवाय। आर के त्यागी गाजावाद। थैंक्स, धन्यवाद साथियों।